Chakshunmilitam jena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manupistam Sthapitam Hena Bhutale Swayam Upakaramayam Nadanti Swavantikam. Namam Vishnupada Krishna Pista Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namahe. Namaste Saraswati Deve Govani Pachane Nivishesha Shunivari Pasatana Chitarine Vanshakapa Tuvasha Kripa Tinivevacha Paritanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Bhavanityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Srivadhari Go Bhaktamanna. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Hare Hare. So welcome everybody to our first session on the topic of deepening our relationship with the Holy Name. So it looks like Holy Name is more popular than false ego. Huh? Well, this morning I introduced the topic of false ego by sharing that after doing so many Holy Name retreats all around the world, I realized we are not getting anywhere in our efforts to change if we don't parallel work on our false ego and dissolve it. Yes. We are trapped in our false ego patterns of behaviors. And we every morning say very nicely, Trinada Pisunichana. We recite it all, you know. Yes, we have to be more humble than a blade of grass, more tolerant than a tree. So what does that mean? False ego has to be dissolved, and only then we can actually receive the benefit the Holy Name gives. Yes. Huh?
That's actually more popular.
No, the false ego should be more popular, and only then we can benefit. That's the whole point. Otherwise, it's like elephant taking bath. You know, we just throw the dirt back on our back by being trapped in the false ego patterns of behaviors. But the purification comes by getting insights and doing that internal work of dissolving the false ego. That's the whole point. You know, otherwise we don't get anywhere. Just the Holy Name will not do anything much if we don't chant it in the right mood. That's the whole issue. So the false ego and the Holy Name both have to work parallel. We have to work on these things parallel. Yes. Anyway, we don't want to have an argument.
The result is that the Holy Name is more important than the result.
But as long as we don't get insights, Prabhu, in how to dissolve the false ego, we are not getting anywhere much. Our chanting is like the elephant taking bath. We immediately slide back into our false ego patterns of behaviors. And we are so trapped there that we can't receive that mercy that the Holy Name brings. And that's why Mahaprabhu says, Trinada Pisunichana, that doesn't come automatically. No, it doesn't.
I'm not saying we shouldn't work.
No need to defend. You know? Yeah, so anyway. Yes. So both have to go parallel. That's the realization I got after conducting so many Holy Name retreats all around the world. And I could see it all, how people just slide back into their false ego patterns of behaviors and they're trapped there and they don't move forward. That's the whole point. Yes, because as long as and we will discover this, especially tomorrow, you know, as long as we chant with all kinds of, you know, wrong attitudes and you know, being trapped, we can't get the benefit. We can hardly even call it chanting the Holy Name. Yes, yes, we will get there. Yes. So without working parallel on the false ego, we just are like the hamster running in his wheel, running, but we're not moving forward. We can chant for many lifetimes as we recite every morning, you know? Yes. So we can chant the holy name for many, many lifetimes, and we will not get the benefit if we commit all these offenses. And one of them is, being trapped in these false ego patterns of behaviors, not being trinada, pisanechana. We're not getting anywhere. Yeah. Okay, so that was just a little icebreaker I wanted to do. I was not planning to get into a whole big discussion here, Yes. Yeah, these two topics really belong together. I think you missed out this morning on the beginning. I explained it. Hmm? Oh, yeah, you were. Yeah, so there I explained it all, that how we see that people for 40, 50 years, they chant Hare Krishna, but still they get so attached to title, position, this, that. So obviously we're missing something here.
The false ego is more popular than the holy name, but that's not how it should be.
No, well, this morning there was less people at the false ego discussion than now. That's why I made that comment saying, looks like the holy name is more popular than the false ego, but actually, yeah, we're not getting anywhere if we don't parallel also work on the false ego. Okay, good. So let's not get caught up here in false ego battle. Tomorrow we will discuss one of the main and foremost rules of Vaishnava etiquette. So we just went a little bit in breaking that rule of Vaishnava etiquette here, but I'm not gonna say what we are discussing tomorrow. So let's hope you will be back tomorrow and get some insight. Okay, so chanting of the holy name. Yes, this is another one of my convictions, that we actually don't make enough effort to get on deeper levels of chanting. Very easily we take this chanting very lightly and cheaply, and we forget what we are doing, And this actually takes place very easily in any kind of activities which we do very regularly, that it becomes mechanical and we become over familiar and we forget what we are actually doing. This can even be in the morning's guru puja, just mechanically we offer the flowers to Prabhupada, like some routine thing. We've been doing it for so many years every day. Or even when we're on the altar, worshipping the deities, can easily become mechanical. And we forget that we're worshipping the Lord personally there and serving Him, And we just go through the motions externally without really deeply understanding what we are doing. Yeah, this over-familiarity easily sneaks into our activities and relationships, also family life, marriage. Over-familiarity is something that really destroys married life, that we forget that the other person is a Vaishnava. And we say all kinds of things to them which we would never say to anybody else. But Arts is my wife, Arts is my husband. So yes, over familiarity, very destructive. Also in a guru-disciple relationship. That's why Guru always keeps us at a good distance. So we don't become over familiar with Guru. So we don't see Guru as an ordinary poison. Yes, where we can destroy our whole spiritual life. So, and this over-familiarity, again, it sneaks into our chanting, especially japa, because hopefully we are all chanting japa every day. So, and then we forget what we are doing, because we have heard these things many times, that Krishna extends himself into the material world by giving us his holy name. So, and Krishna and his holy name are non-different, which, is easy to be said, but not so easy to be realized. It actually means, just by chanting the holy name, we can actually meet Krishna face to face. We can get that same benefit as meeting Krishna personally, having his association. So, I mean, that's quite mind-blowing, and we are usually not conscious of that when we chant, that this is my time with Krishna. Yes. So, and yes, we call upon Krishna to be present, but then it depends how we receive him, right? So we can imagine if we invite our spiritual master to our home, but then when he comes, we turn our back to him, we have something more interesting and more important to do, and we ignore him. Well, we can't even call that associating with Guru, because we are ignoring him. We don't receive him appropriately, with respect, with a service mood, attentively. So that's exactly what very easily happens when we chant, right? So we call upon Krishna, we chant his holy name, but then due to this inattentiveness, which we say in the mornings, that's the 11th offense. That's the root cause for all the other 10 offenses, to be inattentive while chanting. Yes. So, and, I'm the type of person, I like to get to the root of things. So even in a 3-day holy name retreat with morning, afternoon, and I simply concentrate on unpacking what it means to be inattentive. You can talk 3 days about it. Yes, it's a whole deep topic. What it actually means to be inattentive while chanting. Because that's the root cause for all other offenses. So what's even the use of talking about all other offenses if we don't deeply understand the root of them, right? So best to first concentrate on getting insights into the roots of the 10 offenses, and then we have some chance to maybe avoid them. So it's a whole big topic, and basically let us understand this inattentiveness takes place on 3 levels. On the level of the body, on the level of the mind, and what's the 3rd level? So now you think false ego is my favorite topic, so it must be the right answer at any time. If she hears false ego, she will be happy. No, on the level of the body, mind, and intelligence. What did you say? Huh? Body, mind, and Body, mind, and it's close, but not quite. Body, mind, and heart. Just see how we are disconnected from the heart level. Body, mind, and heart. Actually, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, make your chanting heart deep, not just lip deep. Yes, that's usually the motto, 3-day Holy Name retreat. Make the chanting heart deep, not just lip deep. So this is quite an interesting point to understand, that actually in any kind of services which we may be doing, these 3 levels of attentiveness have to be there. You know, even sitting here hearing, we have to be attentive on the level of the body, on the level of the mind, and on the level of the heart. So body basically means we shouldn't be doing anything else while we are hearing or doing any other service or chanting. On the level of the mind means, well, no plane making and all that. So on the level of the heart, what does that mean? To be attentive on the level of the heart. Let's say in regards to hearing, how do we hear? With attentiveness on the level of the heart? Any idea? Any idea? Any suggestions?
You could meditate and write in your heart.
No, better not. Otherwise, we easily become sahajiyas. No, level of the heart means that in regards to hearing, it means that we are inquisitive, we are eager. There is no indifference. That's the thing. Indifference means inattentiveness on the level. When there's indifference there. So in regards to hearing, if we're really keen to capture something, you know, then the heart is involved. But if we're just sitting here, you know, and there's no eagerness, but there's indifference there, well, then the words go in one ear, out the other ear, it bypasses the heart, and it will not do anything to the heart. Because the whole process of devotional service is meant to transform the heart. But the heart will only be transformed if the heart is involved in serving. Right? Yeah, it's logical, isn't it? Only then there will be something happening in the heart, if the heart is actually involved. So in other services, for example, let's say we cook or we dress the deities or whatever. So again, there has to be attentiveness on the level of the body, mind, and heart. They are meaning we do our very best. Sadhadam kirtayantumam yatanta sadritavata. Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination. If we endeavor with great determination, then the heart is involved. We give our very best, not with minimal effort, but with maximum effort. Only that kind of service mood will bring about bhakti, will do something in the heart. But if we just do things mechanically, okay, I'm on the roster, okay, I have to do it. Okay, quickly, so I don't get kicked out of the temple or something. So that service mood will not cultivate bhakti. So good to know these things, because we can waste so much time, you know, by just plodding along, you know. There's this one statement. What did Prabhupada say? Ah, yes. In one purport, Prabhupada says, an easygoing life and advancement in Krishna consciousness do not go together. So if you joined Krishna consciousness to find an easygoing life, sorry, you joined the wrong movement, you know, or you will simply not make any advancement at all. You know, so there's no room for easygoing life. Easygoing life means heart is not involved. Then we have easygoing life, just doing a little bit and all. But no, we are meant to endeavor with great determination, give our very everything. Then the heart is involved. Then very quickly bhakti will grow in the heart. So in other words, you know, these three levels of attentiveness, we don't only find in chanting, but actually in all aspects of service. And especially the heart is the crucial one, you know, because bhakti is all about transformation of the heart. You know? Yes. So heart has to be involved, you know. Yeah, so and in chanting also the heart has to be involved. So what that means, yeah, we will introduce a little bit at the end of the session, but then tomorrow and the day after we will more unpack what it means to be attentive on the level of the heart. Yes. Yes, so let us have a look at these three levels of attentiveness. I mean, the first session always, I'm trying to set the foundation, you know, for everything else that comes tomorrow and the day after. So let us begin at the inattentiveness. Let's look at the versions of inattentiveness. Inattentiveness on the level of the body while chanting. That means what? Chanting while doing what? For example, watching on Facebook is exactly, you know, people may even think, oh, this is really Krishna's arrangement for Kali Yuga, you know, that we have this finger here and we can still scroll up and down and answer a few messages and do things there on the computer and you know. Yes, yes. I mean, the phone is one of the most distracting elements in our life. That's why I don't have one. I travel the whole world without a phone because I don't want to invite this in my life. Yes. At the Holy Name Retreat in Echo Chakra, I usually ask devotees to hand in their phones for 3 days to me. Hardly anybody can do it. People are so attached. They can't even live one day without a phone. You know? Yes. Yes, we just become slaves of our phones, you know. Yes. Yeah, so that's one thing which we see very commonly in japa time. You know, people have their phones there, and every now and again they're doing things there. Even in India, Mayapur, I like to chant at Prabhupada Samadhi. So often I see people there on the phone, and you know, yes, very distracting. So what else? What other versions of inattentiveness do we have?
Speaking with others.
Speaking with others, yeah, very common thing. Two people meet, both have their hand in the bead bag. One person says something, the other person chants. So then when the other person answers, then we squeeze a few mantras in. And if it's a long answer, or very good, I get rid of quite a few mantras here. You know, if it's a short answer, oh, what a shame, only one mantra. So like that, it goes back and forwards, you know. Yeah, very common thing. What else? Dozing off. Oh, that's really miserable life, you know. Yeah, yes. saliva dripping out of the mouth. Yes, terrible. Instead of standing up or walking up and down, it's not that, oh, we have to sit. No, Prabhupada himself was pacing up and down sometimes. Shrutakirti Prabhu shares that. So sometimes we have this misconception that we have to sit, even to the point that rather I sit and fall asleep than standing up and walking up and down. No. No. Of course, if we sit, maybe it means that we are not as restless. If we walk up and down, it may be some indication that we have a certain inner restlessness or something. But yeah, I mean, definitely better to walk up and down than sitting and sleeping and struggling, falling asleep. Yes. What else? Huh? Bad mood. We are at the inattentiveness on the level of the body. Bad mood is not inattentiveness on the level of the body. Inattentiveness on the level of the body means we do something else while we chant. Right? For example, what? Driving, yes, very common thing. These days, people like the counters, the clickers. Now we have these little electronic ones there. Yeah. Huh? Eating while chanting, wow. Well, I guess it's possible. But let's say at the topic of the counters, who is chanting here sometimes on the counter? Yeah, well. Huh? When you're back home, you do. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's hope if you attend these 3 sessions, then let's hope you will throw it into the bin.
Down the streets, instead of having my jacket bag, it brings more attention to myself. When I'm walking to town or something, it's a bit more discreet.
Yes, now this clicker chanting. This is the safest way to cultivate inattentive chanting. To chant on the counter. We can say if we can't chant on beads, it's the wrong time to chant. Yes. Wrong time to chant. Because on the counter you can chant with the right hand, left hand. You don't even have to finish one round. You just click here, click there. This is not chanting, sorry. I mean, tomorrow we will do a japa exercise. So if you like, bring your beads tomorrow. And that, for many devotees, is a real eye-opener. And sometimes people say to me, wow, I realize for the last 45 years I've been doing something else. I have not been chanting the holy name. Yes, these realizations people often get. So that we keep for tomorrow. So today is just the setting the scene. Yes. Yeah, so this clicker chanting, and then in the evening you get the calculator out divided by 108. Oh, so many rounds I've chanted. I mean, there's one Maharaj, I won't mention his name, but he's initiating guru. He calls this chanting on the clicker, he calls it demoniac. Yes, yes. Sometimes people say, well, but didn't Prabhupada say we should chant 24 hours while doing so many things? So, but here now we are hearing we shouldn't. So what's the answer? Well, our prescribed number of rounds we should do with undivided attention, actually. And any other chanting is extra. Of course, while we sit in the car and drive to the supermarket or to work, of course we can chant Hare Krishna, but no need to count it. No need. It's extra. Because as soon as we count it, then there is a danger that we cheat ourselves and we say, oh, actually, I've chanted already so many rounds on the way. Yes. So we can just chant, singing or chanting japa. No harm, of course, good, great. But no need to count. So our prescribed number of rounds, best to chant them with undivided attention. Yes. Yeah, I mean, there's so many more versions, you know, watching things on the screen on YouTube, you know, basically, or even reading, you know, even if it's the Bhagavatam. If we are Lord Brahma with 4 heads, well, then maybe we can do it. 1 head for reading, 1 head for chanting, you know, but with 1 head, we can only do one thing. So it's inattentive chanting. So behind it is basically this mood of passing this boring japa time in a more pleasing way, or the mood is to maximize our time. That yes, I still have these rounds left, but I want to be in class. Okay, let me hide in the corner there away and quietly chant, and I'm in the class, you know? So we try to maximize our time. Or with kirtan, I really want to be in the kirtan. You know, such and such Maharaj is leading the kirtan, but I still have some rounds left. Okay, let me do both. A convenient opportunity to get these rounds out of the way by being in the kirtan and chanting, you know. So this is all inattentive chanting. Yes. Yeah, so there's so many ways of inattentive chanting, even chanting in public transport. After the chanting exercise tomorrow, it will become very clear that even, you know, in public transport, most likely not very attentive. Yeah, because how can we really call out to Krishna in public when you have people sitting around you wondering what the hell are you doing or something, you know? Yes. Yeah, actually, I remember once in Ukraine when I was giving a holy name retreat, one devotee was telling me the story, a true story. He was traveling on the train and he had these people sitting opposite him. And he was trying his best to hide that he was chanting, you know, just having his hand there, chanting like that. So, and then he could overhear a conversation of the people sitting opposite him. So one was saying to the other, oh, look at the little bag he's got. You know, I wonder what that is. And then the other one said, yes, and see, something is moving inside there. Looks like he's got something in there that's alive or something. You know, and then the other one said, yes, and can you hear this? Pss, 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 pss. You know, it sounds like some birds twittering. You know, so then the conclusion was, he must have some little birds in this bag, and they're twiddling and moving there. You know, so when you're surrounded by people like that, how can you really change? You know, yes. And one devotee also was once telling me how he was chanting at the airport on the departure gate. He was walking up and down and chanting. So they didn't let him on the plane. They thought he was psyching himself up to do a suicide bombing attack there and blow the plane up or something. So he had to fly the next day. They took his luggage off and interrogated him. So, and then they put him on the plane the next day. So these things can happen, you know, when you chant in public. So how can you really feelingly call out to Krishna when you have people around like that? Yeah. So pretty difficult. Yeah, so inattentive chanting, you know, the mood is also that our joy comes from thank God I finished my rounds. You know, that gives us the joy and not the actual chanting of the holy name, right? Yeah, so very easily, you know, we get into this, you know, these bad chanting habits. Actually, one thing is interesting, that when we come to Krishna consciousness and we start this process of chanting, we actually start on the level of Namabhas, because we have all respect for the chanting. We really try our best. And I distinctly remember the moment when I started first time this chanting. You know, I was really, wow, let's try this. And so that is actually the clearing stage. That's Namabhas. But then we have these two options of either going down to Nam Aparat and accepting so many bad chanting habits, or we stay in Namabhas and work our way up to Shuddhanam, pure chanting. So I dare say most of us take the option number one, that we go down, you know, and we accept so many bad habits in our life. And then to free us from these bad habits again is so much effort, so much effort. Yes. And I'm often thinking, God, you know, why can't we really train our devotees right from beginning how to chant? Because these days, meditation is a very popular thing. And big cities, on every street corner, you find a meditation place, right? Usually it is some Mayavadi meditation. But I think we can truly say they take their meditation so much more seriously than we do, right? When they meditate, they sit down, lock the door, don't disturb, I'm meditating, light the candle, Mayavadi meditation music, and they take it really seriously. But what are we doing? You know, we have the topmost form of meditation that can bring us to Goloka Vrindavan, something where no other meditation can take us. But we take it so lightly and cheaply, you know, just blabbering something down while we do this, that, the other thing. And we call this meditation, you know, yes. So often I'm thinking, if we could just train our devotees to chant properly right from beginning, just like the Mayavadis train their followers, you know, then we could save ourselves this going down into Nama and developing so many bad habits, and then struggling our way out of these bad habits again. You know, it's, yeah, not really, you know, the most effective way really to chant. I remember when I met the devotees on the farm outside of Sydney there in Australia, one devotee was preaching to me about the chanting, what an amazing thing this is, and so special. And then I saw two Mataji sitting there on a bench, talking, chanting. So I spontaneously said, you know, so if it's so special, why do they do it like this then? So often as a newcomer, you spot all these things immediately, you know, and then after not very long, you end up like that too, you know. Yes. So, I mean, in one sense, it should not even be allowed, you know, we shouldn't be able to get away with this, you know. Yes. But yeah, that training is somehow not there, you know. And we often put so much emphasis on the numbers. How many rounds are we chanting, but not the quality? Yeah. Yes. Yes. Anyway, yeah, there's of course so many other more ways of chanting inattentively on the level of the body. Basically, it means doing anything while chanting, you know, moving things around in the house or cooking or whatever it may be, you know. It's all ultimately inattentiveness on the level of the body. So now inattentiveness on the level of the mind. What does that mean?
Thinking other thoughts.
Yeah, mainly what does the mind like to do? Likes to make plans. So using the japa time for a plan making session, right? Planning the shopping list, to-do list, next preaching program, trip to India, who to marry, who better not to marry. There's unlimited plans we can make, right? Yes. So sometimes people say, oh, when I chant, I always get the most amazing ideas. So they must be coming straight from Goloka Vrindavan. But no, sorry, it's inattentive chanting. You know? Yes. Yes. So maybe let's do a very quick personal exercise. Turn to your neighbor and share your favorite way of inattentive chanting. Your favorite way of inattentive chanting. In other words, what's distracting you the most? What's your main thing there in inattentiveness? Right? So I'll quickly share just so we become more conscious. Okay, Guru Premanandi. So, yes, I saw you sharing something, so hopefully it was on the topic and not something else. Yes, so let's, for the time being, let's park the inattentiveness on the level of the heart a little bit. We'll get there in a minute. Let us first now become conscious of all the amazing benefits we can actually get when we chant attentively. So attentive chanting, what tangible benefits can we directly observe in our life? You know, almost measurable, not the lofty ones, yes, going back to Godhead, pure love for Krishna and all that. No, the more tangibly measurable benefits of attentive chanting. What benefits do we get when we chant attentively? Any suggestions? We get fired up. Well, connecting it with this morning's discussion, it can very well be the false ego too. False ego also really can get us fired up. you know. We were talking about the two motivating forces, false ego or I want to serve. So let's put it that way. Chanting attentively will lead to inspiration to serve. That's what I guess you mean. Getting fired up. Inspiration to serve. So, and not only when things go our way and how we like to serve, but no matter what, you know, even if we have to do things which we don't like to do, even if we don't get a good result, even if there's so many obstacles in our way, we just have a genuine, deep inspiration and desire to somehow or other continue serving. Nothing can stop us, even in the midst of calamities and challenges. That's the test, you know, because sometimes we are super fired up if it all goes our way. And when we get good results, so then we get the false ego gratification. And if it doesn't go our way, we lose all our enthusiasm. You know? So that is up and down. So that's not a sign of attentive chanting, right? Attentive chanting leads to inspiration to serve in any situation. So what else does it do? Or let me elaborate a little bit more about that, just to save a bit of time because it's already almost 6. So inspiration to serve includes, for example, deity worship also. You know, like I think we can say almost every temple in the world has this problem, not enough pujaris. Actually, it's connected with inattentive chanting. That's the root problem. Because if we chant attentively, then we see more in the deity form than just some wooden or metal statues there. Then Krishna reveals himself. And then we have a genuine inspiration to serve the deities. Right? Yes. Yes. I mean, if we would really see the Lord there, we would find an ecstasy here. You know, and if somebody would ask us, oh, can you do the dressing tomorrow morning? Great, just what I wanted. You know, we would not say, oh, can you find somebody else? You know, so obviously such kind of reaction comes when Krishna has not revealed himself that much to us. And he reveals himself proportionally to our mood of chanting. Yes, that's how he reveals himself. You know? Yeah, so inspiration to serve the deities. Inspiration to read Prabhupada's books. You know, that's also a big topic for discussion, even amongst the GBCs. How come that people are not so inspired anymore to read Prabhupada's books? Well, it's linked to chanting. You know, if we chant attentively, then we have a genuine desire and taste to read Prabhupada's books. But if our chanting is mechanical and external, then our Bhagavatam boring. You know, then only 3 people come to the class in the morning. And Bhagavatam may hardly even be part of our daily life, you know. Yes. So these are all effects actually from inattentive chanting. Yeah, it's interesting how really the chanting solves all these problems, you know. So what else? We have inspiration to donate, give donations. Also comes from chanting, actually. Yeah, because if we chant attentively, then, you know, we understand that, you know, whatever we have is actually belonging to Krishna. You know, and we are only meant to keep for ourselves what is necessary to keep body and soul together. And everything else is meant to be used in Krishna's service. So these realizations come when we chant attentively. But if our chanting is not really going anywhere, then, well, we hang on to, whatever we have, and we feel this is mine, and, Yeah, so many, yes, his answer of we're gonna be fired up, we can unpack in so many different aspects of inspiration, yeah. So what else happens when we chant attentively? So a few more things.
Develop a taste for it.
Exactly, yes. We develop a taste for it and we want to chant more. Exactly. What else? Well, our love for Krishna increases. This is a bit of a vague one, So how does it manifest? By getting fired up. And not only when everything goes our way, but in any calamity, we're going to be fired up. That's a sign that our love for Krishna increases. To love means to serve. What else?
When we become more attentive in our chanting, we become more attentive in our service and our day-to-day activities.
Yeah.
More present.
More
Present.
present. Yeah, very true. And we can also say, if we chant attentively, we can see Maya's workings, Krishna's workings, and realizations come. Realizations don't just come by studying or something, but realizations actually are given by Krishna. They're revealed according to our service mood. And that includes the chanting, Yes. Yeah, realizations come. And what else?
Relationship improves.
Yeah, relationships.
With other devotees, with the family members improves, like chanting.
Yeah, that's also true. Even though, a Mayavadi meditator may say the same thing, or my relationships improve, I'm more peaceful and all that, But yeah, let's again put it more like that if there's challenges in the relationships, we are able to overcome them and work through them and see things more from a spiritual perspective, Yes. Because, even non-devotees can also be all lovey-dovey and do all these self-development courses to improve their relationships or something, So it's not a no doubt indication, But yeah, I always like to put it like that when there's a challenge there, are we still with it and working on things and overcoming things and so that is more likely to be a sign of good chanting. And there is one more, which is really one that we cannot fake so easily.
So this might not be a particularly good one to mention, but if we chant well, we sort of we can digest the thought a little bit and sort of go through sort of a signs and stuff like that. Yeah.
I couldn't quite capture that. I only could capture pastime, but that was the only word. Haridas Thakur, what? Let's start thinking about Haridas Thakur. Yeah, well, we have to be a little careful because, Prabhupada was asked if we should, try and remember pastimes or try and see Radha Krishna within our mind. And Prabhupada actually said no, because very easily we can become sahajiyas and we prematurely try to jump on that level, So, but yes, I mean, if it comes naturally, but careful, we are not on that level yet, I dare say, you know. Yes, but yeah, that would be a higher, you know, result. But no, a more plain and down to earth one. Yeah, exactly. We become detached of any form of sense gratification. Sense gratification becomes a boring waste of time. So we can't fake that one for too long. Right? Yeah, that is a pretty clear indication, you know, that we want to use any minute of the day in a meaningful way in Krishna consciousness. And just going to the beach or doing some sightseeing and all this. Oh, boring. No, I'm busy. I've got more important things to do. You know, more meaningful way of spending my time than just looking at the nice mountains and things and castles and this and that. Yeah, so yeah, we lose interest in any kind of sense gratification. So that's a pretty no doubt one, you know. Yeah, we get a higher taste, really, you know. Yeah, yeah. So all these wonderful results are there, and we're just missing out on them. If we chant inattentively, we're just badly missing out, right? I mean, this inattentive chanting, I heard this nice example. It comes actually from Mahatma Pur. You know, like we imagine we are sitting in the car and we have our foot on the accelerator. Brum, brum, brum. Sounds really serious. But the gears are in neutral or in park if it's an automatic. In other words, we are not going anywhere. It just sounds. The sound is there. And we can sit there for 2 hours with closed eyes, imagining, oh, we are driving really fast on the freeway. So, and then when we open our eyes, oops, I haven't gone anywhere. I'm still exactly at the same place where I was, you know. So that's what inattentive chanting is like. The sound is there. Oh, it sounds really serious. But we are not moving forward at all. Yes, that's what inattentive chanting is like. So, I mean, we have to be pretty convinced to actually free ourselves from this inattentiveness. That's really the bottom line where we have to start. You know, what's the use of talking about all these lofty things about the holy name? We heard it all so many times, all the glories of the holy name, how the holy name is so amazing, and. But what's the use? While we have all these bad chanting habits of being inattentiveness on the level of the body-mind, you know, we're not getting anywhere, you know? Yes. So that's where we have to start, to kick out these different versions of inattentiveness. So now, very quickly, how do we actually work our way out of this inattentive chanting? Let's imagine, you know, all our 16 rounds are fully inattentive. Let's imagine that, you know, on the way to work, on the clicker and blabbering something down and you know, so what do? So obviously, you know, we cannot transform these 16 inattentive rounds overnight into 16 attentive rounds. Not possible. Everything in Krishna consciousness is a gradual process. So most likely we will not be able to do that. So what do? So one main and foremost trick is that we take some amount of rounds and chant them with undivided attention, with heart and soul, not doing anything, whatever amount it may be, 6, 8, 10, whatever we can do. And best to do this regularly, every day. And it doesn't mean that we don't chant the rest of the rounds. No, of course we chant them, but let them be inattentive as they have been for so many years. But some amount we chant attentively. And that gives us a chance to experience the difference between the attentive rounds and the inattentive rounds. Because very often our problem is that we actually don't know what is inattentive, what is attentive. All we know is inattentive. And we think that's chanting. We don't know anything better, you know? So we have to give ourselves the chance to experience the difference. And then, as we said, attentive chanting leads to more attentive chanting. So we will get a taste, meaning we will get disgusted with these inattentive rounds, right? Because we realize these attentive rounds are so much more satisfying to the heart. So, and then very naturally, we will gradually want to move more and more rounds of the inattentive pile to the attentive pile, right? Or if we find ourselves, for example, on Thursday, I'm going to have to travel from morning to evening. I have to leave here at 5:30 and I get to my destination at 6 o'clock in the evening or even later. Yeah, 7 o'clock. So what choice do I have? I have to chant while traveling somewhere at the airports and, you know, what choice do I have? So, but at least I will have this mood, oh no, what a miserable day. You know, a lost day. I couldn't chant properly. But what to do? So tomorrow, I will make sure I will have again a good day where I'm doing my very best to be attentive, you know. So like that, we can gradually work our way out of this swamp of inattentive chanting, because it is really like a swamp. You know, you understand swamp? Those who are not English speaking, you know, it's something that drags you down, you know. It looks like it's firm ground, but no, it's all swampy, it's all water underneath it. And when you step on there, boom, your leg goes down, you know, it pulls you down. So that's what inattentive chanting is like. It actually pulls us down, you know. And then, of course, there's so many other good recommendations. I will just quickly mention them myself because we are running a little bit short in time. Yeah, that, for example, we try to chant early in the morning in the association of devotees. You know, that's why we have japa time in every temple all over the world, in the temple room after Mangalarti, you know. Then in the association of other serious devotees, it is, you know, it gives strength to chant nicely. Whereas when we are at home, we get easily distracted doing this, that, the other thing, you know. And also, let's say, if you're a mother with kids, the morning may be a very busy time. So we might just not be able to chant so many rounds in the morning. So what's the next best recommendation? So next best recommendation is to be regulated in our chanting, meaning we reserve a certain time for chanting and only chanting and nothing else, you know? And this may be for a mother with kids who go to school, it may be the time when they're gone to school, you know? But the early morning may be just busy. You have to cook, pack lunch boxes, get the husband to work, and, you know, so it's not that, oh, it's all lost. We can't get to deeper levels of chanting. No, we have to adjust the schedule to our duties. So for a mother with kids at school, maybe 10 o'clock the perfect time to really say, okay, now I've done you know, the kids are out, husband is at work. Now is my chanting time, and nothing else can distract me. And I reserve that time for chanting and only chanting and nothing else. Like Prabhupada himself even says that as a Grihastha, his program was 3 rounds early in the morning, 3 rounds before breakfast. No, hang on, 4. 4, not 3. 4 rounds early in the morning, 4 rounds before breakfast, 4 rounds before lunch, 4 rounds before dinner. You know? And he was saying, if you don't eat before you chant these rounds, then you will chant them. Because you want to eat. And if you make that resolution, you will not eat until they're chanted, then you will make sure you chant them. Yeah, so in other words, it can be a very individual question how we, you know, arrange our chanting according to our schedule, you know. But we should be regulated. There's a lot of power in the regulation, that preferably every day at that time we should chant and not do anything else, you know. But as much as possible early in the morning is of course very good. You know. And also we can ask ourselves 2 questions which gives us some idea about our chanting habits. The question number 1 is, at which time of the day did I chant my 16th round? You know, was it 11 o'clock in the morning or 11 o'clock at night? So obviously it's something that's important to us. We don't leave it till 11 o'clock at night. You know? No, we don't. So that gives some indication of our chanting habits. Or that we ask ourselves, how many rounds did I chant without interruption? You know, did I chant 10 or 12 rounds in the morning and then I squeeze the other ones in? Or was it 1 round here, half a round there, 1.5 rounds here? You know? So then obviously the chances to be really concentrated and focused are much smaller if we just chant here and there and here and there, rather than chanting in one stretch a good portion of the rounds, you know. So just looking at these 2 questions already give us some indication, you know, of our chanting. And also we can really say chanting the holy name actually requires a whole lifestyle. Whole lifestyle. We have to mold our life in such a way that the chanting is a really important part of it. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Then we get closer to creating our family life like an ashram, you know, a place suitable for cultivating bhakti. Holy name, Bhagavatam have to be a vital part of everyday life. Yeah, so it requires a whole lifestyle of taking rest as early as possible. Only then we can get up early, avoiding late, heavy meals. You know, if we eat a whole big plate of rice, sabji, pizza at 10 o'clock, oh, well, then it will be hard to get up the next morning, you know, very simple. So even though these things are so simple, but yet to live them is a challenge, because we have to show true color. What is most important to us? Is it our chanting? Is that so dear to us that we try to take rest not later than 9? Or, you know, are other things more important? You know, all kinds of socializing, social media late in the evening, is that more important to us? Oh, well, then the holy name is already sideline type thing, you know. Yes. So if we actually want to get on deeper levels of chanting, then the chanting really has to be our main priority, really. Yes. Yes, what do we do? Well, we could also see if we have questions now, and we introduce the inattentiveness on the level of the heart tomorrow, the tomorrow session. Because now we have 6:15, 6:30 is Guwahati, right? Yes. So maybe we leave the inattentiveness on the level of the heart for tomorrow. We start off there tomorrow evening. And we have a look if there's any questions just about what we discussed, not about anything which we haven't talked about it yet, because we still have 2 more sessions. So that's just the setting the scene session here. So do we have anything so far? Yes, Farouk.
Hare Krishna. For someone who is perhaps new to Krishna consciousness and new to chanting, would you suggest that maybe they authentically chant as much as they possibly can and not inauthentically chant, as someone who maybe hasn't started bad habits? Would that be better than doing 16 rounds, maybe 5 of them authentically, the rest inauthentically? Do you think that's a better practice than just doing the 16 rounds and some of them might be authentic?
So a newcomer, we tell them to start with 1 round, with full attention, and then gradually increase as the person feels confident that they can maintain that amount of rounds. And best to train them right from the beginning, not to allow these versions of inattentiveness to enter their life. That would be worse. That's what I'm always dreaming of, that we get to this point where we actually train our devotees in that way, to gradually build up and not be so eager just for the numbers, Yes, yes. So, and the same, we also give, for example, when devotees have stopped chanting, this is quite a common thing, that's a very common occurrence that Brahmin initiated devotees stop chanting 16 rounds. Yes, because very often these things happen when we have not made a serious endeavor to get to deeper levels of chanting. If it's just a mechanical routine thing, how many years can you do it? Maybe 5, 10, 15 years, but sooner or later you come to the point, well, I've tried this chanting, doesn't do anything for me. And after all, my service is so important. And. So, and then very often once we stop chanting, I know spiritual masters who have a special website for the disciples who are not chanting anymore, where they can submit their sadhana sheet and inform their guru how many rounds they chanted, just to try and inspire them to start chanting again, And they also, we recommend that. Just start chanting 1 round with full attention. And then that gives some taste, and then gradually we can increase, yes. What else?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Wonderful class, and thank you for all the advices. I think I'm going to follow most of them, and hopefully will improve my chanting in coming future.
Yeah, better be here tomorrow. Tomorrow is the real eye opener, so.
Just one small question. We were discussing what we do wrong with, physically and mentally. So when we are trying to do attentive chanting, when we are trying to have a complete focus on chanting, what should our mind do? Body, I understand that I need to sit straight or walk up and down, or don't have any distractions around me. Complete time for chanting. But what should the mind do?
I'd rather park this for tomorrow, because once we introduce the inattentiveness on the level of the heart, it becomes very clear. Yeah. So let's park that for tomorrow.
One more question.
Yeah.
Amrita Gopal Prabhu, when you asked that what should we do, and Amrita Gopal Prabhu made this comment that we could meditate on Radha and Krishna, you were mentioning that could make us sahajya.
Yeah.
Explain what that means.
Sahajya means when we try and artificially jump higher than we can out of spiritual advancement, you know, and then we pull down a very highly elevated level, we make it very cheap and easily available. And that's sahajya, right? So sahajya means we imagine ourselves, oh, to be so advanced and, you know, have some intimate exchanges with Radha and Krishna and see them there and this and that and so many things. Yes. In a cheap way, we want to pose as being very advanced. Yeah, so that was Prabhupada's advice, not to prematurely try and see or remember different pastimes. It will become more clear day tomorrow and day after tomorrow, you know. Yes, that now our foremost business is something else, not trying to see and remember pastimes. We are not there yet. Is there anything else?
Yeah, regarding the counters.
The what?
The counters.
The counters.
Yeah,
Yes.
we cannot say also that when we come to the chanting in the counter, we can apply the principle of time, place, and circumstances as well. Like I think also Amrita was saying that if you are in a public transport, I personally don't like when people looking at me if you have a peace sign. I don't like. I'd rather chant on the clicker because that's where you start paying attention to the person. And also there are, especially if you have.
You're trying your best to find some justifications for the clicker, is it?
Not really, I want more to chant on the beats. And I think it's important that we chant our 16 rounds on the beats. But especially if you're in a family man and you have kids, sometimes kids are playing around and if you have chanting on my beats, they interrupt me every 5 minutes or 5 seconds. But if you're chanting on the counter, I can get more chanting done than on the beats. But I think it's not just, I don't see it like black and white. I think it's also the question of time, place, and circumstances. Even though we know which one is the best, we know that chanting on the beats is the best. But there are other circumstances when it's better to chant on the clicker than not to chant at all. I think this is my observation.
Oh, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Very easily we get stuck, you know, in these bad chanting habits. I dare say better to really arrange our life in such a way that we can chant, you know, on beats, you know? Yes. And there is a way, you know? But yeah, not so easy to really live it. You know, if we actually get up early, then there is time to chant on the beats.
Well, in my case, I cannot do that because I do Puchari service most of the day. So I wake up 4 o'clock or before 4 o'clock, so I cannot do any chanting until breakfast.
Anyway, I mean, we don't want to discuss every person's individual situation or something. But yeah, for Pujari, it's very important that they reserve time, you know, outside of their busy schedule where they really chant. They have to go in hiding. Like our previous acharyas, they all had bhajan kutirs. In Bangladesh, we have quite a few bhajan kutirs of Madhavendra Puri's original bhajan kutirs in Bangladesh, Mukunda Datta, Vasudev Datta, so many personalities. So bhajan kutir means that it's like a cave-like place where you hide, where you isolate yourself. Bhajan kutirs never have big windows to enjoy the nice view or something. No, it's a dark cave where you hide, you withdraw to chant, So we have to also find our bhajan kutir in life, where really nothing distracts us. So if the kids are so distracting, obviously not a good idea to chant around them. We have to go in hiding, go to the forest, go on the veranda, on the rooftop, whatever it may be, find a place where nothing can disturb you. And then we can chant quality, But this other kind of chanting, if you come back tomorrow for that chanting exercise, we will hopefully get a few realizations, Yes. But we cannot even call it chanting, what we very often do. Yes. So better to be clear in this and then really strive, to arrange our life in such a way that we can chant, at least a major amount of rounds, really attentive, Yes. I personally would not give any room for this clicker chanting. We cheat ourselves very easily. That's the point, the contaminated intelligence can justify anything. We find excuses and justifications for any bad habit. We maintain them, we hang on to them, and then, we miss out. I'm not sure. I'm afraid the conch will be blown in a minute. Yes.
So regarding planning a place where there's no distractions, as you put it, here, but also chanting in association with devotees is also important.
Yeah.
So if we chant in the temple room, we find that there's more distractions than if we're chanting in our bhajan tears, which is.
Well, it's an individual thing. We can't just give global answers for this, Better to arrange the temple room in such a way that there are no distractions, especially in the japa time, So, and during the day, temple room should not be a place where all kinds of things are going on that are distracting or something, Of course, if there's something else happening in the temple room, so all right, then we have to find some other place, But as you say yourself, we should chant in the association of devotees. We should chant in the association of devotees, set that example, to chant together. But often also we may not find time to chant all our rounds in the early morning. I'm a slow chanter. I need 10 minutes for one round. So I don't manage to chant all my rounds in the morning before class. So then I find my bhajan kutirs during the day, my places where I'm undisturbed and so on. So, but there's room for, individual, whatever works for us, Okay, thank you so much for your kind attention. Srila Prabhupada ki, Ramavada Bhaktivinoda ki, Prabhupada Premanande. Srila Prabhupada ki. Just for those who don't know, this book on the false ego has a whole chapter about chanting. There's so much more in that book than what we can discuss in these 3 sessions. So if there is still somebody who doesn't know about that, please let me know if you're interested.